Very warm welcome back to the Jalan Besar Stadium. It's the Great Eastern Yo's S League 2013. And it's been a first half that's been like a chess match. That is the best way to describe it, as Albirex Niigata have passed the ball around and tried to keep possession and probe open this Warriors side, which is exactly what they have done. It's a solitary strike from the number 9, the veteran, 35-year-old Shingo Suzuki, that separates the two sides. There he is right at the top of your screen. And what a stunning strike it was. And I heard you talking about it at half-time. Sasi Kumar, I am referring to, who's my co-commentator here. Great to have you back and running up here, Sas, to get back into the commentary position. Of course, the former Singapore international. And Sasi, what do you think was said at half-time? I mean, this is going to be a happy man. Sugiyama's probably, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think more importantly, what was said in the Warriors dressing room, because disarray that first half, the shape looked all wrong, everything looked all wrong. They've got to do something this second half. So what do you think was said?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? Especially in midfield, they haven't got players that really putting themselves about to win the ball back and allowing the Albirex midfielders time on the ball to pick up the passes. So I think that's the first thing that will be addressed. I would really like to see a substitution in the form of Sofian Anwar, who can add different bite up front and the pace that they so desperately need. So hopefully that was said at halftime, and that will change the mental attitude of the Warriors.
Something has to change. You can see they're there in their huddle and they're just trying to sort themselves out, and a little bit later coming out than Albirex, who look very, very keen to get on with things. Will we see one or two players pushing a little bit further more forwards, and will we see one or two more people getting involved and getting forwards quickly enough? Not enough for the Warriors in that first half. It is going to be the Warriors that will get us underway, kicking from right to left. Mr. Yazin Baroudi gets us underway. And straight away, looks as though the Warriors looking to try and keep a little bit of possession here on this occasion. Vidosevic fires it forwards. Well, you can clearly see that Iwan Gunawan has moved into a more central role. He's starting on the right-hand flank. So a switch has been made. Well, he has scored from 45 yards today, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with Shingo Suzuki for trying his luck from there.
Well, he's got the confidence, hasn't he? I mean, that strike, wonderful strike, so gives him all the reason in the world to have a crack again. He's beaten Hassan Sani once from a dead ball situation.
There is Hassan Sani clearing his lines. Shimpei brings it down. It's a great touch as well. Will close down again very, very quickly by the white and light blue shirts. There you go. Now he needs to be careful because he's on a yellow card. He was the only player booked in that first half and just jumped and clambered all over the back there. It looks as though it's Yuki Ishikawa that went to ground. Just needs to be careful, though.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a little bit too eager to win the ball back. Not really realizing that picked up a yellow card. Last thing the Warriors need is to play with one man down against a very competent passing team like Albirex Niigata.
Here's Bruno, a little bit of time and space, flicks it forwards. Real opportunity here. Sakamoto! Makes it two. Doubles the lead within, what, 90, 100 seconds of the second half. What a dream start to the second half for Albirex Niigata. Let me tell you, they are closing the gap on Tampines Rovers if they continue with this rich vein of form and the way that they played today. That was a well-orchestrated and a very, very well-worked goal, Sasi.
Very impressive passing. They just danced around a couple of players. Have a look at this there. You know, it just took two players to carve out, and then the third player joins the attack. No one really closing him down. And it was, I believe it was player number 11, Sakamoto, who pulled the trigger, beating Hassan Sani. The defenders just going to sleep there. Zulfatli really needed to just squeeze in together with Vidosevic.
Well, that's his 6th of the season as well, and you can see what it means to the coach. Sugiyama, there you go. Little fist bump and the puff cheeks. So the dream start for the Warriors, or for the Albirex Niigata side against the Warriors this half. 100 seconds, just over 90 seconds into the second half, and they find themselves 2 goals to the good. Corner, though, for the Warriors. This is a big loop indeed. One free header coming in at the far post as one ball back. That will go down as a Vidosevic goal. And within the space of 60 seconds, we've got an equaliser. So 2 goals in a minute here at the Jalan-Besar Stadium.
Well, exactly what the Warriors needed. They just needed this. And the headed goal, just pushing the ball into the back of the neck by Vidosevic. Grabbed one for the Warriors.
I think I was getting a bit excited saying the equaliser, Sass, is actually the one that's been pulled back now. So it is 2-1, of course, but look, there it is. It is over the line, it's hit the bar, it's come off the knee then on the line of Nagasawa, so it will count. So 2-1, and the Warriors have turned this game around in 60 seconds.
I'll forgive you, it was quite exciting actually, so...
Oh, it's a great ball forwards, and Bruno here could get another goal. Oh, that could be a free kick. That has to be a free kick. The referee waves play on. Vidosevic, who scored that goal to pull Warriors back into this game, very, very lucky not to receive at least a yellow card. He's jumped all over the back of Bruno. That could have been a red card.
Well, I tell you, I'm with you on this one. The defender just bundling Bruno over. Did the smart thing, Bruno. Just got himself in between the player and the ball. He knew that Vidosevic had the momentum and couldn't stop himself. Well, in my opinion, Paul, that was definitely a sending off for the goal scorer for Warriors.
Well, it's a goal-scoring opportunity. That's why, Sass, we should just clear that up, because quite clearly you could see Bruno was bearing down on goal. He only had the goalkeeper to beat. Vidosevic just jumped all over his back, and from stopping a goal-scoring opportunity, the letter of the law states it should be a red card.
But you know, you got to give credit to Albirex Niigata, who didn't make a big issue out of it. Didn't really protest with that one.
Oh, it's a lovely little flick back from Sakamoto, the man that got the second, and they are trying to conjure and create more opportunities this half. There's a bit more urgency to Niigata this half. That's going to be a corner, is it? No, it's a goal kick. The final touch adjudged to have come off Nagasawa.
Well, almost 0-0 there, Vidosevic.
In the space of 60 seconds. What a 2 minutes that would have been. We'd have had 2 goals and a red card. Shinpei picks up the loose ball, has time and space, 40 yards out, drills in just wide of Hideoki Hara's goal. Looked as though the keeper had that covered, was quite confident in that. Just pulled his hand back at the final moment, realising that it was going to go wide.
Very quiet in this game, Shinpei Sakurada. Didn't really catch it well. Made the keeper work on that one. Was former Albirex Niigata player.
Yep, in his second season here with the Warriors, he's only managed to score 3 goals so far this year, far below his usual standard. Normally likes to nudge up in and around the double-digit mark coming from the middle of the park. All played inside, time and space. Iwangonoan looks up, decides to shoot from 45-50 yards, and not the best shot in the world. Just slipped at that vital moment, which allowed Ara to take it with ease.
Well, doing more out of desperation than anything. Iwangonoan running out of options and just trying to catch the goalkeeper out.
Artab just mopping things up. Ishikawa. Well, you can see that the Warriors side really are pushing a lot more now. Suzuki in a heap on the floor, but manages to get out of the way and then go on the overlap. So time and space here for Sakamoto. Little flick into Bruno, back to Sakamoto. Oh, it's a lovely ball threading through between the defender and the fullback, Yamada. Great ball in from Yamada. Just lashed clear by Rizaini. Anywhere will do. Nagasawa. And again, sanity reigns as Hotta just slows it down slightly into Nagasaki. Out wide to Yamada.
Well, to be fair to the Warriors, they have much better shape in the second half.
Yamada with a lovely little give and go. Nagasawa playing it forwards, everyone getting involved. A little layoff there. Long range shot drilled forwards again from Suzuki, this time with the right foot, and it was a good job there was someone in the way there. That's a lovely little bit of skill there from Bruno. You are right, though, Sass. They have set up slightly differently this second half and do look a lot more compact, it has to be said. Here's Karaglan. He's chasing back and winning the ball as well now, so that's a positive and a plus for them. Spreads it up the line into Prakash. Prakash spreads it forwards for Irwan Gunawam, but again the white shirts are there, and a silly little nudge in the back means that a free kick is conceded. Remember him playing years ago, Irwan Gunawam. Never really lived up to the full potential that he showed as a youngster, has he, Sass? But still, nonetheless, I think we're seeing there a little bit too much exuberance and just a little bit too keen at times, when maybe he should just calm himself down a little bit.
Well, that's what he's got to do. I think he's got all the ability in the world. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, he's not clever about things, and that's the problem.
Well, as you can see, this is the talking point. Is that a red card? Was there just enough, it has to be said, of Zulfadli coming round?
Well, we can watch it 100 times, and I'm pretty convinced that there has to be a red card. I don't know about you, Paul. I think you agree with me on that one.
I can't disagree with you there, Sass, if I'm being completely honest. He was through, Bruno, and like you said, he did ever so well to use his body and get in the way. There you go. Something similar at the other end, but not as dramatic, it has to be said. Chasing back there was... down there, it looks like Nagasawa that was chasing back, gets his body in the way, gets a little nudge and goes to ground. The free kick's awarded straight away, yet because that's right at the edge of the box, the referee doesn't give it.
Yeah,
controversial, Sassy.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit strange because Yazin is usually quite spot on with his refereeing. I quite like him. He's one of those up-and-coming referees who controls the game well. Perhaps not really decisive on that one.
Well, of course, we are lucky that we get to see it 2 or 3 times. The referees have to make an instant decision. Karaglan wants the free kick. He looks at the referee, then looks at the linesman. Well, doesn't just look at them, just glares at them, but nothing given. Play allowed to continue. Game starting to simmer rather nicely now, it has to be said. Here's Shuko in the middle of the park. Simpei, it's a poor layoff from him. And that's another poor layoff, though, from Suzuki, and it's given the ball straight to Karaglan. Karaglan drills one into the box. Prakash coming in at the far post. If he'd have anticipated and gambled slightly earlier, he might have got in there. Bruno, great touch from him, and just keeping the ball effortlessly, just stroking it out wide. 4 white shirts bombing forwards as well. 5, 6, 7 looking to all join in as well. Bit of time and space for Nagasawa, just helps it on, and that's what these Albirex players are doing. They're just helping the ball on. Back inside to Bruno. Has Sakamoto available and elects to use him with a little fancy back heel. Possession kept. Yamada slows it down. Suzuki, who's withdrawn himself slightly. But again, that closing down, which wasn't evident in the first half from the Warriors, paying off there.
Well, like I said, they're shaping up much better. There's not much space in midfield for the Albirex players to look up and pick up those passes, and that's working for the Warriors now. But what they really need to do is be a bit more clinical in the final third. They need to find a blue shirt, not give it away with cheaply.
Well, that's exactly what they need to do, Sass. The question is can they continue to do that? Ball switched all the way to the far side, easily picked up by Yamada, helps it forwards into the middle to Nagasawa. Slowing it down again, Nagasaki. Ichikawa. And now the chess game begins, where they try to draw out these Warriors players, and that's exactly what's happened. That's a great turn from Sakamoto. Time and space out wide as Yamada goes on the overlap. 3 white shirts to aim for in the middle. He fires one in, and solid defending from Zulfadli just cushions the header forwards into Shijai. Shijai tries to switch play, and it gets cut out rather easily. Chikawa was the man defending back there, no problems from him. Better from the Warriors, though. We do have to say that, Sass.
Yeah, much better in terms of the shape, in terms of the urgency to win the ball back, especially in midfield. They got themselves a little bit more organized, like you picked out earlier on, Irwan Gunawam, making a bit of difference playing in the middle.
Here's Bruno. He's in behind again, Bruno. He's been brought down, that's a penalty. Stonewall nailed on. Dan Bennett saying no contact, but from where we are up here, Sass, I'd like your opinion on that one. Because it did look as though Bruno, he didn't give the one earlier, but he has done this time. He's inside the box, he's burst in there, looked as though he'd got across his man just enough, and looked as though from our position, Zulfandi just caught him.
Yeah, a bit of burst of pace there by Bruno, as you can see. Just the nip there. Good footwork by Bruno.
Well, this will be the angle, Sass. Does he catch him? Does he take the ball? He's nowhere near the ball. He does just clip him.
It does, because he just lost the ball. And Zulfandi just falling over and bringing Bruno down.
Good decision then from Yazin Buhari, the referee. And that one's spot on, much to the ire and anger of the Warriors players.
Well, they were lucky that they didn't go one man down, because that was a clear sending off. He survived that one, but this time around, Yazin spot on with the call.
Well, who's going to step up and take it? Is it going to be the old man? It doesn't look like it's going to be the old man. Looks as though it's going to be Bruno.
He won the penalty, so he's been given the duty to dispatch this one.
It's always dangerous. Well, it is going to be Bruno from the spot. Hassan Sunny, no slouch when it comes to keeping goal. That much we do know. So we're almost at the hour mark, and this the opportunity to give Albirex a 3-1 lead and give them that 2-goal cushion that they had at the start of the second half. It's Bruno who steps up, and it's Bruno who converts. Hassan Sunny diving over the top of the ball. He'll feel very, very, very hard done by there. But nonetheless, you have to say, it's only what Albirex Niigata deserve. They do deserve this lead, Sass. There's no question about that.
Absolutely. Great work by Albirex Niigata. But Hassan Sunny will be disappointed with himself. He dived over the ball. I thought he guessed the direction well, but didn't do enough to just keep the ball out of the net. As we can see, he went the right way, but the power just enough to take it away from Hassan Sunny.
It's close as well, though, isn't it? That's the thing. Just enough pace, though, from Bruno. That gives him his 3rd goal of the season. And it just seems as though this is the game where it's almost all coming right for Albirex. This is the first time this season that they have managed to score 3 goals in a game, so that tells you about how tight and how close they've been keeping it so far. They've only lost by the odd goal, and they've only won by the odd goal. That is their record in 2013, so it has been an incredibly tight season so far for Albirex Niigata. This is the biggest lead that they have had. If they can sustain this through to the 90 minutes, it would be their biggest win. Chidai in the corner. Little layoff into Rosani. Kimpe.
Just to add to that one, Paul, I still think there are a few goals left in this game. Still plenty of time to be played.
Well, the pocket's been picked there. Sakamoto goes forward. That's going to be a clear-cut yellow card. Well, Rosani totally deserved, it has to be said, and a silly, silly yellow card to pick up.
Frustration creeping in Rosani's eye now. Need to be a bit more patient, too eager to win the ball back.
That's his 2nd card of the campaign. 2nd yellow card. Well, there's the man under the pressure. Lee Silverage, and he'll be feeling it even more now, because defeat here will not leave him looking at a good table. This, if they get a well with the 2-goal deficits, they could move down a place below Hougang on goal difference. So it's very, very tight. It's very important that they keep themselves in that 8th position and within striking distance of finishing in the top 6. As we mentioned, that's where the mini-league will kick in after 2 rounds of fixtures. The top 6 will play up and the bottom 6 to crown this year's S-League champion. Slightly different format this year.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're reading the same reports that I'm reading, that speculation rights that Mirko Grobovac might make a comeback. Coach the Warriors. Don't know how much that is true, but
I think the circles that we mix in SAS, I think we've heard him and numerous other names that have been linked with the job. But of course, it is Silverage that is in charge at the moment, so we can only speculate, and nothing is confirmed, of course. This would be a big blow, though, to the Warriors, who looked as though they were just turning everything round nicely and looking to get themselves into decent form and decent positions. They did have the little hiccups, it has to be said, in the AFC Cup, where it really didn't go for them. But when you consider that they drew with Home United in the league, then they beat Hougang 4-2, they beat DPMM 2-0 away, which is a great result, that has to be said. And then coming into this game, buoyed with the confidence of your Home United result, your DPMM result, your Hougang should be a formality, but you would have expected a bit more as the long-range shot fired in, looking for that fourth goal, but not coming just yet. But again, Sash, you have to say the Warriors are on a roll, or they were on a roll up until today.
Well, I really thought they turned the season around after that 2-0 win against the DPMM away, which is never an easy fixture. But tonight was a different side, especially in the first 45 minutes. Looked like the side that didn't have the shape, didn't know what they were doing, and playing into the hands of Albrecht Niigata. Much better in the second half, but even then, Albrecht managed to carve them out.
Shows how tight this league is, though, when you consider that in 11th place, Geylang are on 14 points, and in 5th place, you've got Woodlands on 16 points. The gap has closed up with the so-called smaller clubs, as it were, and it really is a competitive league this year, as has been shown tonight. They'll lay back their possession kept by Fukuda, and again, Toda not available tonight for the Warriors is a big blow, but his opposite number, Ota, in the middle of the park and dropping into that central defensive position, really causing all sorts of problems, as is Yamada. It's a lovely little give and go. Was that a penalty? Ichikawa cutting inside and just trying to create half a yard. Contact made, but maybe not enough.
Well, this is where they are really impressive. Albrecht Niigata. Good give and go, and the tackle coming in.
I'll tell you what,
Ichikawa absolutely frustrated.
Look at that off the ball,
yeah,
and I'm telling you, Prakash is a very lucky boy there. Albrecht fans enjoying themselves here tonight. Remember, if you get the opportunity to go down and support your local team, there's nothing like actually being at a game of football where you can witness and see absolutely everything. Going to get out there and support our S League. That's exactly what a lot more people this year are doing.
Well, the good thing is we got the likes of Tanjung Pagar and, of course, your team, Balestier Khalsa, doing much better this year. Even Hougang, to their credit.
Woodlands as well, you can throw in there. It's just, everybody's keeping it as tight as you can.
Yeah.
Shijai plays it forward. Shinpei just couldn't quite keep possession and easily picked off yet again. Shinpei thought about the challenge from behind, but elected not to put the challenge in. Time and space for Nagasaki. Suzuki. Bruno tries to flick it back over the top, easily picked off by Dan Bennett. Shijai keeps it. Shinpei helps it forwards. Kalaglan holds up the ball. Kane draws the foul.
Well, this is much better. When they get the ball, they find the player at the feet, and that's why he's so good, Karoglan. Even when two players close him down, he knew how to get away from it. Absolute control of the ball. He's got a great left foot, as you can see, just swiveling past the players, putting pressure on him, making the difference there.
Well, double change being made. Sufyan Amwa is coming on for Irwan Gunawan, and Shukur is going off, and Matthew Abraham is coming on. So a little bit more attack-minded, taking that defensive midfield player out. Shinpei, that's just completely overplayed. And there's the Early burly bustle of Soufiane Anwar. Another foul, though, conceded. Just as well, because they do attack very, very quickly. They have had their faults about quality in the final third, as we see final confirmation. Sukur is off, Mathieu Abraham is on. No, just over 20 minutes to go. Albirex leading by 3-1 against the Warriors. Here's Bennett looking to stride forwards. Shimpe, a little bit of time, tries the diagonal. It's a lovely ball into Soufiane Anwar, and he's trying to knock it forwards. The penalty's been given. Now, was it a handball? That's the first question. The second question is that no matter what, the referee's blown a whistle, and he's going to show a yellow card to the keeper. Well, Hideki Hara goes into the book. That I don't quite understand, but it could quite easily have turned the tide here, because another opportunity to get one back.
Well, I just got a feeling in the control by Soufiane Anwar. He must have used his hand, because the ball seemed to be moving forward at a different pace. But nevertheless, the Warriors have got an opportunity to pull one back. Second goal, rather.
Undeserved, it has to be said, but it is going to be Karaglan. He don't miss. That much we do know. Game on.
Well, all of a sudden, Soufiane Anwar making direct impact on the game. Like we said, he's got the quality. Not sure why they waited this long to introduce him.
Well, he just made a run in between the two defenders, didn't he? And if we have a little look at the penalty again, never going to miss from here. Miroslav Karaglan very, very rarely misses from 12 yards, but it was the ball that was played through into Soufiane Anwar, where he found himself in acres of space, and the touch looked as though it may have been a handball, Sass. Got away with that one, got bundled over, and the penalty awarded, and we're really going to have an entertaining final 20 minutes here.
Albirex comes straight on. Ever running and ever willing Bruno, giving options up front.
Nice ball played forwards, and again, who's the man running? Yep, it's the substitute, Soufiane Anwar, who's just come on, plays it inside. Prakash, time and space, looks up, thinks about the shot, sees that there's an option in Ruzaini. Does just enough to get there, Ruzaini. Delivers a great ball into the box. Flicked away by Fukuda. Prakash picks up that loose ball, slows it back down. Zulfadli played inside. Abraham headed away. Easily dealt with, and a little clash and coming together there as Nagasawa goes down clutching his head.
But you know, the big difference now is that the Warriors want to win the ball back as soon as they give the ball back away, which was a big difference in the first 45 minutes. They stood back, you know, and took it very easy, but it was Abraham who gave the ball away and quickly came back and tried to win the ball back. Also makes a big difference if you've got another striker playing alongside Karaglan.
Well, we've already seen that. He's been on for 60 seconds, has Soufiane Anwar, and he's created havoc and won them a penalty. So that pressing and the extra body up front, relieving a little bit of the pressure on Miroslav Karaglan. And straight away, anything can happen here. And there you go, there's a yellow card. That's got to be one of the fastest yellow cards so far this season. Mathieu Abraham goes straight into the book after being on for, what, literally 3 minutes by my reckoning.
Just youth there, Mathieu. Trying to impose himself in midfield, but you know what, Paul? They need a player like that. They need someone who hustles and bustles and just really works hard in midfield. And he's not young, Mathieu Abraham, 24 years old, but relatively new in the S League still.
Suzuki tries to play that ball in. Bennett heads it away, only as far as Fukuda. Fukuda looks to go on the outside. Shoulder to shoulder there with Ruzaini, and Ruzaini loses out but wins the free kick. But again, cheaply given away in the middle of the park. That seems to have been the problem today for the Warriors, all told.
He's been very poor. Shinpei Sakurada really giving the ball away, but again, work rate not really great and doesn't track his man back.
Bennett trying to put the challenge in. There's 70 years over there with those two going together. Dan Bennett and Shingo Suzuki, they're the oldest combination. You could probably put 4 of the other players together and it'll be about their age. That's how much experience was in the corner there. And that's no disrespect to either of them, of course. It's not very often that we see that sort of challenge coming in from 2 veterans and battle-weary troops, shall we say.
Highly experienced is another word.
I'll go with yours. Highly experienced veterans.
That's 3 words for you.
Nice little turn there from Sakamoto. Lays it off again into Bruno. Challenge coming in there though from Shijae, and he tries to thread that one forwards. Again, oh, that was naughty. That was over the top there, let me tell you. That was very, very interesting. Vidasevic it was who went down. But if you have a look at the challenge just before that, he went over the top, and it looks like he's come off worse, unless he's just playing along, because he knew exactly what he was doing, because there was one of the Albrechts players on the floor there, and he's very, very... You watch this. Bakuda is who goes down. Look, there he goes, right over the top of him first, and then goes down.
Well, my question is, what's he doing so high up in the park? He's the centre-back, and he's almost joining the attack. They're putting a challenge in. So high up. I mean, we just talked about the shape of the team, and you got your centre-back running off in the middle of the park.
Well, it's either that or they're that desperate to win that if you're the closest man, you go and close down. That was always a tactic before. Yeah, where's your midfield down? I know exactly what you're saying and where you're coming from. Yeah. You have to have certain things in place first, don't you?
Exactly. If your midfielders are not doing the job and you got your centre-back dragged out of position, you're in real trouble.
You have to say, and we've seen it a few times this year, Sass, that Albrechts in the first half pass it around like absolute world beaters, like Barcelona-esque, as it were. Comes to the second half, and I think teams get into their face a little bit more, and that's when they struggle a little bit, which is why don't teams approach Albrechts Niigata from the very first minute like that, pushing them and making a game of it like this?
Very good question. We picked that up very early in the game, and when they don't have time to place to play, that's where they win the ball back again.
It's exactly what Prakash did and played that one forwards, and again Fukuda almost gets caught in possession. Sufyan Anwar putting pressure on. Shijae plays it into Karaglan, he gets it onto the left. Drilled forwards, closed down by Yamada. Suzuki.
Well, you're right, Paul. I don't care who you are, but if you don't have time and space on the ball, it's very, very hard for you to pick anything up.
Shinpei, it's a poor ball in from him.
Well, if I have to pick out 2 players that really let the team down, Shinpei Sakurada is one and Shijae is the other. They have, as midfield players, it'll be interesting to see the stats, how many balls they've just actually given away.
Well, it's a big thing when you're talking about your midfield players and you want to get things going, isn't it? That's the key to the game, and you've got your 2 key central midfield players giving the ball away. That was why they struggled so much in the first half. Put it down. Here is Shijae, a little bit of time and space. Then here is Shinpei, who you just mentioned. Sufyan Anwar holds it up. Out wide to Prakash. Prakash thought about delivering it first time and then stepped inside. Good defending in the end from Ichikawa. Ichikawa wins the free kick there. Well, he's going to talk himself into trouble here, Prakash. At the end of the day, the referee's made his decision, and this is one thing that happens when you get a little bit older, Sash. You understand that the referee's not going to change his mind, and still at 24, he's got something to say, but...
Yeah, just a little bit frustrated, I think, Prakash. But very good defending by Ichikawa.
Bennett sweeps it all the way back over to Prakash again. The overlap coming with Zulfadli. Prakash steps inside, though. Shinpei just lets that one run all the way back over to Razaini. Razaini looks up, 3 blue shirts in the middle, and Karaglan's there. Oh, it was who fisted it away. And I can't understand why that's been given. Karaglan just pleading innocence. I mean, there's a little bit of a coming together there, but was it the goalkeeper that there was someone near him, or let's have a look? That just a little nudge, yeah.
Nudge at the back of that.
That's enough. That's enough.
It was Hota. Actually, Karoglan had his arms behind his back.
Good decision from the referee. The second that you raise your arm like that, you give the referee an excuse, and you can't argue against it because your arm is raised where it should be a little bit lower. Let's be completely honest about that.
Yep.
Don't let him out! Stay front, stay front.
And you can hear there Bennett talking. Stay in front, it goes over his head and into Bruno. That means that Vidosevic has got to come all the way across and try and deal with this. Bruno clips on back inside. Bennett just tucks back in and launches this one clear. Karoglan goes to ground and Otta goes to ground as well. It's Soufiane Anwar who picks up the loose ball and does well to skip past 2 trips and play it out wide to Prakash. The referee, now we don't mind that, Sass. The referee has tried to play an advantage, can see that there's no advantage there after 2 or 3 seconds and has pulled it back into the middle of the park. If this becomes the norm, as it seems to this year in all leagues across the world, this isn't a bad thing, is it?
Not at all, but I thought the advantage was with the Warriors when they just went down the flank. That could have created an opportunity. But you're right, he's being consistent.
Chimpay in the middle, Soufiane Anwar with a flick head. Well, there you go, he's pulled it back. They've taken that one quickly and almost scored from it.
Well, you're right there. Then now the advantage is with the Warriors, so depends on which side of the fence you sit on, but nevertheless a great opportunity for the Warriors. But I believe it's Soufiane Anwar who couldn't get any touch on that one. Impre Sakurada, on the other hand, just providing that cross.
Ball flick forwards looking for Bruno. It's always going to skip away from him. Almost at the 80-minute mark. It is Warriors 2, Albirex Niigata 3. Ball flick back inside. Abraham just keeps possession. Easily mopped up there by Ishikawa. It doesn't seem that when he gets sucked in that Hota just slots back in there. They do seem to have a little triangle there with Fukuda as well, where the 3 of them work very, very well together.
Well, unlike the first 45 minutes when the Warriors had 3 midfielders there, they didn't know what they were doing. Albirex Niigata managed to figure that one out. And that formation, they're really working for them.
Well, that's just ballooned straight up in the air. Good possession kept. No changes yet made by Sugiyama. Sure there'll be 1 or 2 tired legs out there as well, that's for sure.
Well, you would imagine 10 minutes to go, he's got that slender lead. Probably bring on a more defensive player, sacrifice a striker. So we'll see that at some stage.
Bruno just sorts his feet out. Nagasaki slows it down as Yamada steps into the fray. The lovely ball turned around the corner, possession kept. Bruno, after getting the ball back from Sakamoto, 2 or 3 white shirts in attack here. Nagasaki out wide into Sakamoto, but unfortunately hit straight into an offside position. Oh, that's a poor mistake there from Prakash as Albirex win it back high up the field. But yet again, they slow it down. Prakash tries to win it back. There's that mistake. And it's well picked up by Matthew Abraham. Plays it forward, Chimpay. Just checks back. They are always looking for that longer ball, which is what's catching them out. That's a great ball from Shujai, just chipped over the top. It's got Hara having to struggle and pushed across the face of goal by Karoglan. What a chance that was. The biggest mistake we've seen of the night so far coming from the Albirex Niigata goalkeeper, Hideyuki Hara. What was he doing?
That was really, really comical, if you ask me. Very experienced goalkeeper, just taking his eye off the ball there, but you really expect a marksman like Karoglan to finish this one. To be fair, the angle was tight, but should have had a bit more curl on the ball, and there would have been game on for the Warriors, but saves his blushes there.
What a mistake that was from the keeper. All he's got to do is just dive on the ball. No one can go near him or touch him. The goalkeepers are the overprotected species, of course, at the moment. And they can breathe a huge sigh of relief, Albrechts Niigata, as that one's ballooned over the top from Zulfadli, and that is a mistake. And Albrechts are getting ready to make a change down in front of us. Is it going to be made now? Just finishing off the paperwork. Yep, it is going to be made now, and it is going to be the number 11, Sakamoto, the man that scored the goal that made it 2-0 just some 1 minute 50 seconds into the second half. He comes off, and coming on is Yoshinaga Arima. And he's a forward as well, so fresh legs. The 20-year-old being given his opportunity to act like Forrest Gump for the last 6 or 7 minutes, which is just basically go and run your socks off, Sass.
Yeah, that's a strange one. You don't expect to bring on a striker when you have the lead, especially after suffering a bit of a scare there. Imagine that Sugiyama would have brought on a more defensive player.
V Silverage just getting ready to make another change as well and bring on his youngest player that he has in the squad. There is the keeper. He comes a long way. No free kick given. Prakash drills it forwards. Now, that looked more of a foul than what we've seen so far, but Hara dropping the ball again under the challenge from Sufyan Anwar. That's not confident goalkeeping, is it?
Not at all. I think he's been shaken a little bit after that incident there. Well, you really don't expect that of a very experienced goalkeeper, Hara, who was actually training the goalkeepers last year. I'm sure he wouldn't have told them to do this.
Well, it's the 19-year-old who comes on in his side. Amaral Hazik that will come on, and it's Prakash that goes off in the last throw of the dice for V Silverage. All threaded forwards from Shinpei, but again easily dealt with by Ishikawa.
I really like to think what would the result have been if Warriors played with 2 strikers up front from the first 45 minutes.
And push like this from the start, right?
Exactly. I think would have made a big difference. Why Sufyan Anwar was left on the bench is beyond me. Deciding to play with just Karogalan up front.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for these two teams because the next up for both sides, Tanjong Pagar away for the Warriors. That should be an interesting one with Tanjong Pagar sitting in 3rd position. And as for Albrechts Niigata, well, they travel to Bishan Stadium and will take on Home United in what will be a crucial game to see if they are real title contenders or if they're just pretenders, as it were. That a massive game for Albrechts this season.
Well, they've got to have a bit more playing against the like of a Home United, and especially Tanjong Pagar can really mix it. They've got a couple of interesting players there. We're not quite sure if their passing game will actually work on a pitch like Queenstown Stadium. The Home United, on the other hand, also like to keep the ball on the ground. They've got a nice surface at the Bishan Stadium.
Yep, the surface is nice. Sometimes the ball doesn't see it that often with the way that Lim Jiang plays on occasions. Been done on a few occasions already so far this season. But they have managed to turn their fortunes around after a poor start, so they are looking to show their title credentials as that ball's just flicked on by Karaglan. Home United 20 points in 4th position. Tanjong Pagar 21 in 3rd. Albrechts Niigata 23 at the moment. If they win, they will go to 26. Tampines Rovers at 28. So it's still very tight up there at the top, it has to be said. And that's intelligent from Yamada. He saw that the run from the substitute, Arima, had ran into an offside position, so he let it to go himself. Just 2.5 minutes left plus stoppage time. Simpei goes down. Big shove away from Vidosevic. Substitution being made as well. It is going to be Nagasawa that comes off. And it is going to be Kazuya Fukuzaaki that comes on. So, Sass, how's the game gone for you? You think that this is the correct result or not?
Yeah, I think given the way that the game has gone, I must admit that Albirex Niigata displayed a bit more than the Warriors, but the Warriors did well enough to come back in the second half, but a little bit too late, I believe. But nevertheless, good entertaining game of football, 5 goals altogether. Fans can't ask for anything more.
Can't ask for much more than that. Free kick awarded right in the box. So Hara will take this one. Just been told to get it back inside the box. Under 90 seconds plus stoppage time to go. There's a young fan who's come down, and there's a Kodak moment. He's taking pictures of the players. And nice to see that young and old can all come down and enjoy our S League. Just a little bit too tight there for Soufiane Anwar, right on the touchline. It's going to be a throw-in, though. Did get the deflection, taken quickly by Zulfadli. Held on. 2 balls on the pitch. The 4th official does well to just move that off. Shimpei tries to play, gets caught in possession. Zulfadli was just holding back there as Ichikawa was clearing his lines from the right-back position. Well, Silverage has it all to do, that's for sure, over the upcoming games. You mentioned Tanjong Pagat, then it's Geylang, who have impressed on occasions this year. They've blown a little bit hot and cold. Then they have Woodlands Wellington, who have had a massive revival this year and have looked very, very impressive on occasions as well. It does have to be said. It really is turning into what I can remember as one of the most competitive S leagues that we've seen for a very, very long time. Ishikawa up the line. Bruno keeps the ball, rolls it back, out forwards from Fukuda. Nice little touch into the path of Ichikawa. He's not going to get there. Good defending in the end from Shijai. He wanted the throw in, but it wasn't given. Didn't agree with that as the 90 minutes elapsed. 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the 90. So 3 minutes for the Warriors, who have managed to claw their way back into this game. Not once, but twice. Going to be a yellow card here for Ichikawa, or he's been told. Is he? Was the card shown? No, I don't think the card was actually brandished in his face, so if that's the case, it won't stand. Nodded forwards from Bruno, hack clear from Shijai. Islam Karagman just trying to get on the end of it. The loose one picked up by Yamada. Yamada drills that one forwards, and Cam Bennett just chests it forwards as easy as you like. Possession kept. Abraham thought about giving it back to Bennett, but then clips it down the line, easily dealt with. Lots of white shirts back defending now, not so many going forwards. We're just over a minute into the 3 of time added on. Chimpei brings it down, time and space, flicks it out wide. Soufiane Anwar looks to create a yard for himself, pulls the trigger. But again, far too close to Hara, whose confidence will come back with that save. Looked a bit ropey about 10 minutes ago when a ball was launched into the box, but there showing a real safe pair of hands as the ball, well, it just sort of dies on the pitch there. Didn't skip through like Shijai was expecting. And then Hassan Sunny had to come a long way to deal with it. Zaini does well just to twist and turn and comes forwards. 2 minutes have gone out of the 3 added on. It is still Zaini, played inside. Karaglan with a little layoff. Abraham helps it into the box. It's the youngster Amaral who looks to get on the end of it. Never really going to win that one, the little man that's just come on. Zulfadli skips past the challenge, delivers quality on the touch there from Karaglan, just getting away from him as Vidosevic had pushed forwards as well. And you can see, couldn't see, there you go. That's, if you can lip read and you can hear, that's exactly what he said. He couldn't see there. There were bodies all in the way, and that's why he got away from him. Is that going to be just enough for Albirex Niigata to get over the line? Hara picks it long and wide. Header won by Zaini. Unfortunately, Warriors couldn't keep that one in play. Albrecht's getting ready to make another change if they get the opportunity. They do. It'll be about a 3-second appearance for Hideki Murasaki, if it happens. There's the ball forwards. Miroslav Karaglan holds it up, gets caught in possession. Vidosevic has gone forwards as well. The ball bouncing and bobbling around, and nicely taken from Nagasaki, who clears his lines, helps it forwards. Bruno's in behind here, gets the better of Shijayi. Shijayi has to come back and cover. Goes into Hassan Sunny, who doesn't want to risk picking it up. The 3 minutes have gone. The referee's looking at his watch at the moment to see where everything is. A little bit of time and space here for Albrechts as they're keeping possession. Suzuki will just run this one into the corner. There you go, nice and easy. There's the experience that's been brought in, and it doesn't matter which way it's gone. It has gone to the Warriors, but we're now almost 4 minutes. The referee will make that change now. It is going to be Bruno that will come off, and it will be Murasaki that comes on. So a late change that is absolutely irrelevant. It's just one for the stats that Murasaki will have another appearance penned against his name. As soon as this goes in, and I'm sure that Hassan Sunny decides to launch this one forwards, the referee will blow his whistle. Well, we're on +3, and we've gone over 4 minutes already. Now, the 3 minutes when it goes up is a minimum of 3 minutes. A little bit of a mix-up there as to come together. Everybody stood and watched there. Soufiane Anwar pulls it back. That's going to be too much, and the referee now says that that will do. Murasaki actually got a touch. He was the one that launched it forward right on the final whistle and gets a big handshake. The referee, Yassine Buhari, brings the contest to an end. What a thoroughly entertaining game we had. It started with a stunning free kick from Shingo Suzuki in the 25th minute, making it 1-0, and just 50 seconds, or 1 minute 50 seconds into the second half, Sakamoto made it 2. Vidosevic with a header from the corner, just 60 seconds after that, made it 2-1. Bruno scored from the penalty spot. Karaglan scored from the penalty spot as well, which made it 3-2, and a thoroughly entertaining last 10 minutes. So, in the Great Eastern Yo's S-League 2013 encounter, the Warriors against Albrechts Niigata, it's finished with the Japanese side leading and winning and going second and cementing second in the table and going 2 points behind Tampines Rovers.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Shazad. It all started so well for Albrechts Niigata. They were the side that were in the ascendancy and pushing forwards, and going close early on was Nagasaki, just wide of Hassan Sunny's post. But I tell you what, this wasn't just wide, this was well in. What a stunning strike from all of 44, 45 yards. Just see the ball and the movement on that ball as Shingo Suzuki turned back the clock, and the 35-year-old gave Albrechts Niigata the lead after just 25 minutes. That didn't count. It went in the back of the net. Sakamoto rising well and just putting the header into the corner, with just the judge to have strayed into an offside position. And as you can see from this angle there, it's well inside the post, but the goal not given for the offside decision. Into the second half, I want to start some, 1 minute 50 seconds into the second half. Sakamoto, great build-up play with Suzuki and also with Bruno. The little triangle here, absolutely beautiful. Bang, bang, the little touch there, and bang, right in that far corner. So the 47th minute meant that Albrechts Niigata had taken a 2-0 lead, and they looked like they were in cruise control. Real good passing, real good movement. Ain't nothing away from his 6th goal of the season. Sakamoto making it 2-0. But within 60 seconds, straight up the other end, Vidosevic got right on the end of that one, rose well, drilled the header back across goal. The linesman with the flag straight up, saying that the ball had crossed the line. There you go, and quite clearly it just came off the knee of Nagasawa. No mistake there, the Warriors were looking to fight back into this game. But then, well, we had a controversial moment just a couple of minutes before this where Bruno was through and brought down by Vidosevic. This time, quite clearly, Zulfadli not making contact with the ball, but making contact with Bruno. There you go, look, the ball hasn't moved. There is enough there for the referee to award a penalty. This right on the hour mark. He stepped up after being tumbled over and made absolutely no mistake to make it 3-1 and give Albrechts Niigata what could have been their biggest win of the season, but it wasn't to be that way because the Warriors decided to bring on Soufiane Amouar as another striker going forwards to try and create problems, and that's exactly what they did when he came on. The joy and the delight there on Sugiyama's face, well, it wasn't long-lived because this substitution after about 20 seconds, and this is exactly what Soufiane Amouar did, took it on the chest. Was that a handball? That's the question, and you can see there Hideki Hara coming out, getting the yellow card for his woes. Is it the hand? It looks like the hand, but the penalty given nonetheless. And this man, well, we know he doesn't miss. It's his 6th of the season as well. Striking it home from the penalty spot, making absolutely no mistake. And again, giving us a real grandstand finish. That was in the 70th minute, and it meant that the Warriors were just 1 goal down with 20 minutes to play. What could have been the most embarrassing moment of the season almost came for Hideki Hara, where he went out to try and land on the ball and has totally missed this. This is totally embarrassing from the keeper. And as Sashi Kumar said during the commentary, the angle was really, really against Miroslav Karagan. Wasn't a million miles away, but he will have felt that he should have done better there. Soufiane Amouar, well, his contribution was vast, it has to be said. He made the change when he did come on, and he did mix things up with an opportunity on that occasion. And on that occasion, Miroslav Karagan just couldn't bring that one down. So that's the way it ended. Well, the possession has been almost all the way in favour of Albrechts Niigata. 64%, 3 and 2 yellow cards, which will pay their toll in the upcoming games. 2 corners for the Warriors, none for Albrechts Niigata. Now, that is a really, really surprising statistic. The Warriors have had 9 shots, of which 5 have been on target. Albrechts Niigata, only 8 shots, of which 3 have been on target. And, of course, those 3 equals 3 goals. Like it says at the top, it ended Warriors 2, Albrechts Niigata 3. Sasi, Shazad, back to you guys.
Well, I felt that we gave away an easy goal, soft goal, and we started to sit too deep. So I told the boys, it's about time we should move up and open up and pressure them up front. So I decided to add 1 more striker up front. And yeah, we competed in the second half. We still gave away 1 soft goal, penalty goal. And yeah, I can see they were fighting till the end. Things became better when we started to play two strikers up front. And we created some chances. Just couldn't finish, especially Mislav. He had a very good chance with an open goal, but I believe it wasn't that easy. So, but I had all the confidence in the team, that they could come back, but it was a bit too late. We considered two goals a little early in the game, so it was like a mountain to climb against a well-developed Albrechts team.
Is there a reason why you chose to put Sufiane against him?
Yeah, because I still felt that Erwan Gunawan energy is still effective up there, and Soufiane could give me a good 10-15 minutes, of his energy. So he came in, he gave us a penalty with his energy, and it was a bit more effective this time. And yeah, it's just that we lack the composure up front. Yeah.
Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on the first goal?
I think first goal, Suzuki Shingo scored that wonderful free kick. It shows that his quality as a J-League player who played more than 350 games in the J-League and more than 200 games for Albrechts Niigata Japan. So the goal showed his quality for this league. I'm happy for him.
Is it a different game plan because this match is a different Albrechts game?
No, we played the same game. Same passing movement, everything, and then it just happened that today we managed to score 3 goals. The first time we scored 3 goals in the league, so we are happy for that, and I'm happy for my boys.